like
it's some Vincent
feeling
Van Gogh shit,
feeling influence,
like,
you know,
some wild, crazy shit. Like,
yeah,
you won't know until
We're setting the base right now for
a lot of other people.
our grandkids.
For sure,
The music
Oh,
that's
man.
definitely gonna be, because EDM, it finally hit the States. Like I was saying, the UK
It's
has
here,
always
man.
been pushing that out, and
yeah.
I'm glad that now in the States, even Black Eyed Peas, man, shout out Black Eyed Peas for pushing EDM. Like,
for sure.
what was that track?
I wanna scream and shout.
Yeah,
and
like,
let it-
bro,
like
come
their
on.
new shit, right? But
Yeah.
even their older shit, like the I
Just keep
forget.
putting it
but-
out.
I gotta see what I am. I think 2000,
Britney. No wait, I don't know.
2010. I think I gotta see what I am in EDC.
Well, I am. Yeah, I am. That's like he would always place himself in like records that were very dance music.
It's crazy to think though now, because I had a conversation with Claus on my podcast, on my other podcast, Don Talks. With Claus, she's a techno DJ and she travels like overseas and shit. And she was telling us like a big difference, or that was a big difference that I don't think is no longer a difference, is that or electronic music goes back in their culture like years, bro. Like there's people like 60 years old and shit that are like, I remember listening to this type of music. So it's like
At Burning Man and shit.
and it's just like, fuck, like that's embedded like almost in their culture. And now we could say that like in the US, bro, like there's kids growing up today like looking up to EDM.
Like I'm glad the EDM is in our airwaves. Like it's
like
there, it's here.
Be able to be like, yeah, my grandma went to EDC and shit like that. Like, bro, that's some wild shit to think about.
Dude,
bro.
I actually want to bring up like something real quick too about about like the state of the growth of dance music. Like I was looking at EDC Mexico's like lineup, because for a while Mexico didn't have an EDC. I think this is like their 5th or 6th EDC they had in Mexico, and
yeah.
bro, I was looking at the light. I'm like, dude, like this is so cool that EDC Mexico is starting to bring a lot more like underground artists, and that's real cool because I feel like when events of that scale go to like new countries, new territory, like they're always like bringing in like the obvious like big mainstream like headliners, and
low key they still do like 1 or 2 every other like stage.
Yeah, and I think it's cool now to see like when they do like countries right now like Mexico and other places, like I'm starting to see now, like especially like in Orlando, they're starting to put a lot more like focus on the underground, and it's cool to see that because not only they're like focusing on the mainstream audience, but they're wanting to put like the audience like on some new shit too, like that's gonna be around for a while.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about, as music producers, like 20, 30 years from now, like you're gonna have a catalog and you're gonna be able to look back and be like, damn, like I made this shit 30 years ago.
I'll go deeper, bro. I think about that and I think, damn, my kids are gonna listen to this shit. Bro. I'm just like, fuck. Like I'm like, are they gonna understand this shit? Like, how are they gonna?
What was my dad thinking? What was my grandpa?
I ain't having kids. I ain't having kids.
What was grandpa on?
Like, I ain't having. They're gonna be like, that's my grandpa right there, man.
That's why you don't have kids, bro. You never want to have that situation. Don't have kids.
I'm looking forward to that situation now to be like, hey, when I made this song, like. There was some shit. Like, it's stories now. For me, I feel like I could date every track that I made and understand, like, the situation I was in when I made that track. I probably knew what I had for breakfast that day or something. Or, like, it's just a stamp in time where I could be like, damn, I know exactly what I was feeling during this situation and whatnot. So it's like, that's dope to think about, bro. Like, years from now, bro, I'm going to look back and be like, that's how I was feeling.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, damn, Neo Bird, October 2021.
Speaking about Neo Bird, I'm going to plug this in. Go fucking stream that shit. That might be my first track to hit 10K. Run that shit up, fam. Coming. Run that shit up. It's at 8 something. Run it up, please.
Let's keep it going.
Let's go. Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, man. Like, that's it. Moombahton is... It honestly, like, you can say it saved my life. I feel like there's times, we all know as producers, why we, not necessarily run to produce, but what it helps us sometimes cope with. you know, and so I feel like at the time Moombahton, just came in right on time, and being Hispanic, I love being Mexican, it was just the perfect mix, and I love Moombahton hasta la tumba, said by Barnaton. That's another label too, Barnaton. You could look them up as well. Barnaton, they push out Moombahton, and like right now, like I said, Latin House is in, so that's kind of like their push right now. So that's another label.
How long did it take you, both of you, I guess, to realize that when you were making that music, like, oh, it's a release, like, damn, like, I don't want to say just recently figured it out, but like over the past few sessions and like past sessions that I've had, I've realized like, damn, after I made this track, like I don't know, I felt like I just let some shit off or something, and I'm able to walk away like, okay, well, I'm done with those like problems or emotions. Like, I just leave that shit alone now.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like it's a good feeling when you finish a track and you let that go. Like you're almost like
at peace with it.
Because there's a lot of emotions that attached to that track, because there's a lot of time that goes into a track. So whether you realize it or not, every time that you've actually worked on that track, it's kind of like embedded in your brain. So you're kind of just like, you're just done. You're almost ready to push it out. A lot of producers don't even like their music, or like not necessarily that, but just you're so like fed up with it. You just want to push it out and you just want to get it out, and
yeah, you're over it.
Yeah, you're over it.
Legit, bro,
I'm over this problem.
Like when I
move on in life.
I made this track and I was fucking feeling it heavy when I was making it, bro. I was moving, I was kicking, pumping, all that shit, right? And then once I got done with it, I'm
right.
What do I do with this? Like, fuck, people should hear it,
Right, yeah.
People should hear it.
Yeah.
People should hear what the fuck just went on in my head. You feel me?
Yeah. I think people can fuck with it.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like, but do I continuously want to keep hearing that shit from here on out? I don't know. I do not know. But there are some tracks that I can tell you that I'm like, I always want to experience how this shit came out. Like I'll listen to this whenever I want,
And then that's the thing about like Timberland. Like I love watching Random Ass clips that he posts about him back when he made a song or when it all came. Like as producers, it's sick when we show each other our tracks. Like, oh, check this out. So I mean, I love to see the story of when big artists, Jay-Z, whatever. We all seen that clip where Timberland, I think, is showing Jay-Z. I think is that I'm not too sure what the name of the track, but it's one of his hits. And Jay-Z is just like dumbfounded and just like thrilled by the beat, and Timberland is just like ecstatic to like show it to him. So like I think just seeing shit like that, like motivates you, makes you feel like, this is how it happens, like there's no other way. Like it's just human contact and interactions and and relations. So
this is Tempo with Christian Busto, bro. Moombahton 101.
Moombahton 101 episode.
Facts.
I think we couldn't have picked a much more perfect guest for this, bro. To be honest.
Thank you.
Honestly, it's real grateful to have you here to talk about this, because I don't think I know anyone that could like really explain like, I guess, the state of Moombahton and like its history and like in what direction to go if I want to listen to like fresh ass like Moombahton. I mean, I always know like I'm following you, and I'm always like keeping my eye out whenever you do have like a release. But dude, everything that we talked about Moombahton wise, I think it's like it's real refreshing for sure.
Dave Nada actually has a page, if you guys want to follow on Instagram. It's called Moombahton Massive, which he pushes all like global sounds, but he pushes all Moomba creators and everything. So for my Moombahton lovers out there, definitely follow Moombahton Massive. Great IG page.
Yeah, and you've gotten support from a lot of these big names. Too,
yeah.
right?
Recently, with my recent track, I got support. They posted my track, so shout out to them. So yeah, man. So from meeting these artists, at Madison Block Party to like knowing them, you know, and like humbly knowing them and seeing them and chilling with them is just like, you know, if someone would have told me that back then, 10 years ago, I would have never believed it. But, you know,
Dude,
it happened.
Never
And,
a lot of shit.
you know,
Yeah.
You know, the dance scene was definitely like in like, you know, 2010, 2012 with Moombahton. Like,
what do you think it's gonna take for that vibe to come back strong? What
I
do you think it's
think
gonna take?
in a way,
'Cause I want it, bro.
in
I'm
a
not gonna
way,
lie, I want it. It's
in a way,
dancing music. It's good music, bro. Like I love. I'm not gonna say any more other than this. I love the crowd it brings. That's all I'm gonna say.
oh yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Culo.
that's it, bro. You know,
That's it.
you want to wrap it up with Pitbull, you know,
Culo.
like, you know, reggaeton, you know, all you got to do with music is attract the ladies and, you know, the men, you know, the men will follow. So
that's why I love that.
You
shit,
know,
bro.
reggaeton, play you some Moombahton.
And
We're dudes,
I'm gonna
bro.
lie to
We're
you, bro.
dudes.
I'm not gonna lie here. I was never a fan of Moombahton. Even when we were younger, until I went to a club, bro, and they were playing fucking Moombahton, and then I realized who the fuck was on the dance floor, and I was like, I fucking Moombahton, bro. What the fuck was I even thinking? Like, cause I mean, I was young, bro. I never went to clubs, you know. Like I didn't understand it. You feel
like
me?
culture, like what
It's
it
funny
brings.
you say that. It's funny you say that because I've had like a few like random cats just tell me after my set, like, bro, thank you for playing something to dance to. You know, like, you know, they're trying to dance either with their girl or trying to like, you know, sneak, I don't know, talk to somebody or what. But, you know, I've gotten those type of comments like, thank you for playing, you know, something to dance to. Like, you know, something like girls could move their ass to or something they can, you know.
Look, bro, we all know, like, if you should know this. If you're a man, you should know this. Girls want to go out there and shake their and like dance, bro. Legit dance, like, and you make that shit happen. Like, no matter what, bro. Like, you've made it happen on several occasions.
I appreciate it.
It's fucking dope as fuck. I love that shit. I appreciate what you do, dog.
And then, you know, that's good times, you know, for both male and female. You know, just having, you know, a way to express ourselves to like music that, you know, no one's gonna judge you to. Like, it's, you know, it's a way of living. Like, you know, people understand. Like, lo que se ve no se pregunta. You know, like, you know.
And honestly, I think it's a great mixture of pop and EDM underground.
Yeah.
And also, like, I'm not.
Yeah.
Am I tripping to say it has like a little like trap influence with like with the 808?
Yeah, I have a track called Encendido, which in the second drop I drop a trap, you know, Dutch house lead. Lead. I'm sorry.
That's fucking lit. That's fucking lit.
I meant to say synth, but combine the words and shit. But yeah, so that's
go hand in hand, bro. For
yeah,
sure.
and
go hand in hand.
And yeah, I fuck with that. I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, when I was younger, for me, I think because I was heavy bass head, like that's what I was. And then
I understand.
Bass head, and then hear Moombahton, you're like, okay, but I understand it now. And then I also like the influences that it brings from a bunch of other genres. And I could just, I'm trying to think because in all these other genres, right? Like in dubstep, you get rhythm, you get future rhythm. What do you get from a Moombahton? Like, what is that next like subgenre of Moombahton? But it's still Moombahton, you know? Like,
it's funny that you're asking me that because how you're asking if Moombahton is dead or alive. I think, like, look at this. You know, obviously dance hall, you know, reggae dance hall, reggaeton, Moombahton, and then you have your house music that's individual, and then you have your Dutch house that's, you know, influenced by, you know, reggaeton.
Gotcha.
But what I think is that, like, if you make house music, you know, that's like very Latin influenced, I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's very Moombahton-ish. Like how we were saying, the limit where what becomes Moombahton to tech house. You know, so I feel like as soon as you pass that 115 limit, anything 116, it's still, like it's saying, it's taking the baton, right? So it's still like the same race, you know, per se. So I feel like Latin house,
that's what the next,
you know, it's not necessarily taking over Moombahton. It's not like replacing it. I feel like it's very hand in hand. You know, like you can play a Moombahton set in Latin house, you know, some Latin reggaeton remixes, and it would just go so smooth.
So where I'm getting at is that it's not necessarily the tempo that symbolizes the genre. It's more so the elements that go into the record, right?
Yes,
for sure. Because I'm starting to see this like in dubstep too, where you know, tempo wise, I'm starting to hear like slower dubstep tracks at 130, where you hear the same structure, you hear the same rhythm, but slower, but still like dubstep. So it's kind of like the same thing where like you can hear it's the same thing too. Like when you hear like a Moombahton track at 112 or 115, you can speed it up to 128 and 130, and it'll sound like a tribal house track. If you didn't know what Moombahton is, that's probably what you'll call it. Like house track that has a lot of like tribal percussion work to it. Or if you slow down like a very Latin house track to 115, then you got yourself a Moombahton record, right?
Yeah. And honestly, Moombahton is like basically like a main genre now, because there's not necessarily now, but it's always kind of just been Moombahton. And then you have David Heartbreak, actually, who created some of the first Moombahcore edits with Munchi. I think they released 1 or 2 EPs. And they created Moombahcore. So you have your Moombahcore, you have your Moombahton, and then you have your Moombaso. Moombaso is very like chills, like spiritual, like just like you know, you got your pads, you got your like, it just sounds like you're like dreaming into like a Moombahton Dembo, very like chill world, you know, like
a luscious like
like that's some shit.
It can be kind of like an R&B feel to it.
Yep, there you go.
It's just not aggressive, you know.
Yeah. So
we need Moomba Future in this bitch.
Yeah, Moomba Future, bro.
We need that shit.
Do that. You know, like I think
you might have to do it, bro.
Yeah, fuck around and find out.
You're the one that
find out.
Like we talking about Moomba Tech now. I'm like, I don't know. I might go home and.
I'm trying to think what other.
On the next episode, we'll talk about producing that.
True. What other like genres lie in that same BPM range?
Honestly, in that same BPM range is crazy that you're asking, because I said that like probably 3 times, but I've been thinking about these things personally to myself because that's what lies very well. What lies very, very well in that is hip hop, bro. Hip hop, hyphy music. We all know hyphy music. We all know hyphy music was at that 100 to like almost 115. You know, like you know, hyphy music. Hyphy music honestly was a bridge from hip hop to electronic, because hyphy music was very heavy influence with pads and like electronic influences. It was you know, like hip hop is more like, you know, originally like sampled, very like basic, you know, your basic you know, beat drums, your patterns, not too much, you know, there's more attention to like what's being said, you know, the lyrics, than the actual beat. A few transitions, but with hyphy, they were like, you know, let's fuck this shit up. Let's make the bass heavy as fuck. Let's make this shit fat and loud. You know, like they got electronic-y. They added some fucking, you know, some compressors, some, you know.
Would crunk music fall in the same line of that?
Oh man, crunk. Oh man.
He's like, you just opened up another wave, another hidden gem in my mind, bro.
I got a cousin.
Let me.
Yeah, bro. I'm about to. Bro, I got a cousin. I got a cousin from LA. You know, Gotcha's. You know, actually my uncle, but this fool, he was the OG. He, you know, before I even got into music, he would come from LA. You know, and visit us out here in Riverside, in Moreno Valley, and he would come with like new music and always with that new hyphy shit. You know, like, and he showed me the pack. Remember the pack, right?
Nah, bro. I
got my Vans on, but the leg light sneakers. Yeah. Got my Vans on, but
okay.
Yeah, bro. Like the pack, bro. Like, you know. So, and that's the thing. Jerk jerk music. Was that jerky music, right?
Yeah.
So that
107
shit,
type shit.
that shit is right hand in hand with hyphy music.
Yeah.
If anything, it's just more aggressive.
Okay.
So
the
like
south.
So to
Southern
answer your
California.
question, Moombahton, very well complements hip hop. You can strip out some vocals maybe and make a Moombahton edit. You can
Facts.
sample out some like hype drums or whatever the case may be. But
You know what I've seen go hand in hand with Moombahton these days? Mid tempo.
mid tempo.
Have you heard of mid tempo? Like
Not too familiar.
Like Rez kind of like style of. So think of Moombahton tempo.
It's crazy.
But it's not dirty Dutch synths. Think of it more of like less percussion, but more dubstep like structured. So think of it like dubstep at 110.
Yeah, bro, that's like some Zouk shit.
Okay.
That's what I was talking like on that bass, on that like Zouk. I never produced some Zouk. If anything, I'm a little late to it. I feel like I'm not too sure, too clear. I don't want to like, don't quote me on. I'm not sure if Zouk came before Moombahton or the whole thing. But I know I learned about Zouk after Moombahton. But Zouk is very heavy Moombahton. Dance hall. Influence.
How do you spell his name?
Who?
Zouk?
Oh no, it's not a name. It's a genre.
Oh, it's a genre.
Yeah.
Oh,
ZOUK.
Zouk bass.
Zouk bass. Yeah.
For a while, dance hall,
Zouk.
I would always, I would look up to Ape Drums when it came to.
Oh,
dance
bro,
hall.
I got a picture of homeboy. I met him at Hard Summer. Yeah, Hard Summer.
Just
the
chilling?
fact that like he's not part of Major Lazer. It's crazy.
Yeah, he didn't used to be a part.
No,
of Major
yeah,
Lazer.
he's not part of Major Lazer. So, and I'm at the Mad Decent Block party. I met, there was a whole different Major Lazer. Like they changed, I think, one or two of the cats, but Jillionaire and used to be part. I think he's still part of Major Lazer. No, it's Washi Fire, Diplo, and Ape Drums. It used to be Jillionaire, some other cat. I'm not too sure, but I have a picture with him. I'll send it to you if you want to post it after this. But I have a picture with him, and that's what I thought was Major Lazer back then. But I guess they can change cats. But yeah, now it's Ape Drums, bro. Ape Drums is. I always knew that he had the best potential. Like he was on that like dance hall, Major Lazer almost sounding, ghost producing sound. So it was meant to be. His manager did the right thing. He knows what's up.
Yeah, bro. Because dance hall. I mean, I don't know. I can't really think of anyone else besides Ape Drums that was really putting dance hall on the map like the past couple years.
Drake.
Yeah, Drake got some dance hall influence.
Yeah.
Views, man. Come on.
Well, then again, like I said, a lot of times these producers or these rappers just get the beats sent to them or they get approved, or so. I mean, obviously they give an okay on obviously what they want to rap to, but it's kind of what more is like what's hot with producing and what's being thrown at them.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Why not? Like,
if
bro, I feel
a good rapper or a good lyricist, good artist, whatever it is, and you have access to some of the most top quality newest shit that's coming out right now. Why the fuck not? Will I just let me see what's up? I
feel like that One Dance by Drake, heavy Moombahton influenced.
Yeah,
heavy Moombahton influenced. That one, J Balvin's.
I knew
J Balvin, like that's the actual track. Like usually when the beat drops with the pop track, the singer keeps singing or whatever, And with this like J Balvin track, it was very like Moombahton structure. You had him saying, I'm not too sure. I don't remember the song, but he had him saying, his little vocal and then the beat drops. And it's just a beat, It's not very often that you hear a pop track that just has the drop and no vocals and then, a little in between vocals, And, that layout to me is more EDM style. So that was like, very Moombahton to me. So people that know.
I got to give credit to as well when it comes to pushing that sound more towards like mainstream exposure, DJ Snake.
Bro, oh man, how could I forget?
About it, bro. I'm just realizing, bro, like DJ Snake Still to
DJ
this
Snake
day, bro,
to this
like,
day, bro. He's over there making music like India
exactly
influence,
how you
like
said,
bro.
how you can use hip hop influences. That's exactly what he does.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like I'm saying, like, and he stays at that tempo, bro. It's good. You can dance.
And
you can
I
have
like
fun.
it. He gets
like,
so many dope artists on his beats and shit, bro. Like I'm not mad.
Because rappers can rap on it. Rappers
But
don't feel intimidated by a fast tempoed beat, you know.
And I don't want to say this is the case whatsoever. You think he has writers?
Oh,
you think he works with writers?
Who?
I'm sure he's worked with writers.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's worked
Drake?
with writers.
You talking about Drake or
DJ Snake?
Snake?
Yeah.
If he's released with a label, I'm sure he's worked with writers.
Because I listen to a lot of the tracks that he puts out sometimes, and I'm like, okay, I see where your influence is here, but I don't believe you did a lot of this.
I believe that.
No,
I believe he might stay in his own lane and just produce the beat.
Yeah,
and leave the rest to like if you're gonna like as DJ Snake, I feel if you're gonna come and want to sing on my song, your ass better at least know like you can't like either you know how to like write a song or you have someone very well that's very good that has probably won some Grammys that knows how to write songs that's in the studio sitting with you that's listening to DJ Snake and can hear what DJ Snake is asking for the track, you know, and can lay out a verse or whatever the case may be, you know. But if you don't, I feel like, I mean, you gotta come ready, you know. You gotta come like with your gear, you know. When it comes to, I feel like DJ Snake, if it comes to like writing, maybe I might be wrong. Maybe he might be heavy influence on his own writing, but I think he might stay in his own lane. I'm not too sure.
So. And I'm thinking about this now. I don't know how true this could be. Maybe it's just something I'm making up in my head right now, but I'm pretty sure this might be the case. I'm pretty sure a lot of these people, like if they're signed, they have a label. They're probably good producers, right?
Yeah.
They'll send the label the track, right? That they probably made, and they was like, "Oh, this is a good track," and then the label puts more production into it, type shit, and then it becomes more. Does that still count as your original track now?
I would just say,
what happens if you put in a track? What happens if you send a track in and there was no like, let's just say horns, for instance, but then when you hear it, there's horns, and then there's a fucking bridge and shit that you didn't really put in there. Is that still you? Because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure he's submitting his track. And then what happens when the artist says, "Hey, can we put a bridge here? Can we put something here?" Is he doing that, or is whoever's in the room with that artist? Are they the one doing that shit? Because I don't. You got to think about it. Not at all times are the artists and producers are in the same room. And then what happens when the artist says, "Oh no, we need more here"? Like what happens then?
Yeah.
You know, like shit like that. I think of and like, you know, I don't know, like how much of it is just the producer himself.
Yeah, that is true. Because when you're now, especially when you're like signed with the label, how much leverage do you have
as a producer, bro?
Yeah.
If major artists don't have leverage, producers don't have no leverage. Think about it like that. Producers are starving to eat, bro.
Only a few got leverage for sure.
0.1% of producers in the music industry, dog, have leverage, and I guarantee that because I hear this from. This is more me hearing it from the hip hop producer side, bro. You're a dime a dozen for hip hop. You're a dime a dozen. The label will find someone, bro. So either take what the fuck they're giving to you, or it is what it is. Lates, fam, like
right.
And you hear that shit a lot. And I'm just saying this from the hip hop side because I'm like super like delved into that shit, but with DJ Snake especially, I feel like that could definitely be the case with him. Sometimes just with some of these tracks, because I'm like, bro, this bass right here and this sub is always on a track that 2 Chainz is on. So like, if you're really trying to make me believe right now that 2 Chainz producer or engineer didn't have no influence on this, I don't know.
Parallel thinking.
Yeah. You know what I can tell very, very well on Drake's particulars, like producer or master or mixer, they love filtering the whole like
40,
master.
Bro. Yeah, so
they love filtering the whole master and just kind of like him on the vocal or and you know who not necessarily. I took some little tips from Mala. Mala, tech house producer. I'm not too sure if it's
bass house.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I've heard rumors he's DJ Snake, but I don't really know. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know if that's the old back in the day rumor. But anyways, I noticed with Mala, he filters like his main like bass lead, so I kind of like that, style, and I kind of took that idea and integrated it into my kind of Latin house music, and I kind of like it's good for bridges and transitions, like you can still hear the bass rhythm but not feel it, and then it comes right back and it just slaps you in the face, and it's a very cool and simple like trick, I feel.
For sure.
You can do it with the basic EQ. You don't gotta do anything crazy. You don't gotta buy no crazy like plug-in or anything.
I feel you on that shit. What's it called? That producer you're like Drake. See, and that's the thing, bro. And you bring up a great, like, the fact that you brought up Drake right now. Anything Drake's on, bro, his producer is touching it. Even if you produce the beat, bro, his producer's touching it. I don't give a fuck. He does. Drake's on it. His producer has to be like
final mix down.
Yeah, fam. Like he's having the final influence. Who has the masters? At the end of the day, who has the master stems? You feel me? To do whatever the fuck they want with it.
Yeah, that's true.
And now think about it like, and how we said DJ Snake is fucking producing with so many big artists and shit like that. Who do you think has the final stems in that shit? Is it DJ Snake?
I guess it depends on the. I guess who knows.
And I'm only like cornering DJ Snake.
No,
it's easy example. Not easy, but it's
very big artist to like,
Yeah, think about it with, but
for sure, DJ Snake's got to co-sign, and be like, yeah, I fuck with this, So I mean, I guess he's co-signing shit that he wants to represent as an artist. So that's a good question, though. Who knows, like, how much of it he was able to like be like, oh, this is what I want it to be like, and then after that, it's like, all right, who had the final say? Yeah, correct. Well, it could have been maybe too like the artists, like the people that provided the vocals, like they already had like some sort of beat, and then Snake got the vocals, and he was like, what, I got the final say. Then I got the, so yeah, we just never know how that like scenario came out to be, but yeah, especially with a label, like I mean.
I'm pretty sure how it goes down with
writers,
other
people,
for
sure worked with writers, dude. Like, and that's cool, dude. Because
honestly, bro, and I'm thinking about it, like personally, me, if I get signed to a label that has dope like guitarists, dope pianists, and shit like that, bro, I want to work with these people, fam. Like, I have access to them now. Like, they're the best of the best, bro.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we can't put featuring everybody that had some type of say in this, right? Like when you at the end, because look, bro, no one looks at tags, like no one looks at producer credits and shit. At the end of the day,
it's just what's marketable. I think when the label like,
and that's what they're gonna go with, bro. Are they gonna go with the name that no one knows of that just played like the lead of the keys, or are they gonna go with the main singer and the main producer that have the big names? And that's what I'm thinking. I'm not even gonna go back to it, but yeah, like that's the. Like that could be the case for a lot of the things going on, and like I said, I would do it personally, bro. Like I wouldn't even care if I was the person that said "produced by" on the tag, as long as I know, like, oh shit, I'm on the writing credits and homeboy. I don't throw out a name. I don't know.
Whoever. That's how I was talking about. Not mean to interrupt, but like I was saying about Alvaro right now.
Not to interrupt, bro.
No. Yeah. But I swear, Alvaro right now, that's his exact situation. Alvaro, OG, like he knows his potential and what he could be doing, but he's just behind the scenes. He's literally co-producing with Major Lazer, like, if anything, if producing the whole damn track at times and shit. But
I'm sure it's happening.
that's Alvaro, bro. Like, and he's making his money. He's doing what he loves. So that's low key.
It could be worse, bro.
Yeah.
Look, so that's the dream, right? That's the dream.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
realistically, do you give up the dream for more money, for more bread, for more notoriety, or do you keep yourself at whatever your initial dream was and just be cool with it?
I feel like comfort is a bad thing, but there comes a point where it becomes like greed. You know, depending on the situation or your mindset, whether you want more money or you just want higher goals. You know, if you want higher goals, it's a whole different situation. But if you want more money and just, you know, like you're talking about that type of like motive, then, you know, it's
let's throw like a real life situation into someone that's a producer, right? And that's in just that. That's just, they're probably not the biggest notoriety, but they're making bread. What they're doing, they're chilling. They might not have the biggest house or whatever, but they're able to live comfortably, right? 15 years pass. How are you still feeling after 15 years of living your dream? And think about it now, like in the real world, when you get like people who don't want to be like artists and whatnot, right? They have their job. They get their job that they wanted after high school, after college, right? They're there for 20 years or whatever, 15 years. Like, you know, they've worked their way and whatnot. And then they're like, damn, now what? You feel me? Like, isn't there, like you said, is it greed? Is it greed that's like making you say, no, I want more now? Or is it just like, damn, now what?
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between just wanting it for money and that being your motive, or wanting more because you have idols or influences that you've seen, you know, them producing at very beautiful, you know, studios, or like in like a different tropical island, and they're producing, and like, you know, like those are the type of things that I don't honestly motivate me. Like, that is like goals, like to be able to just be vacationing somewhere and like have a studio where you're vacationing. You know, like,
it's crazy you say that.
That is a beautiful luxury, and just to be able to do that and travel and be comfortable and support your family is, it's like, you know, I would be okay with that.
let's break this shit down, like all the way down. When you first started wanting to produce, what was the goal then? Because for me, I could say the goal, the actual, like the goal, main goal, was for me to be able to live, like actually live, survive, and be able to produce at the same time, like almost every day. Like that was like the goal for me because I liked producing so much, right? And then somewhere along the way, like other things influenced me or whatever the case may be, to where I was like, no, that's not the goal no more. Like, you know, like I don't know, because I said
you get older, you know, you mature, things, you know, your mindset changes, you know.
And I'm trying to relate that back to what happens when you're in that state of, I've been doing this comfortably for however many years, working with different artists around years. Do you think, damn, I need to go bigger now? I need to chase these accolades or whatever the case may be, or you just stay content type
I
shit?
feel like depending on like, you know, how far you are in your career, if you feel like you're pretty good and you can, you know, you're a house producer and you know you're comfortable that, you know, someone comes up to you and wants maybe a hip hop track, that you're so comfortable with your knowledge of music production, not necessarily a genre, that you can lay out something for them. You get me?
I get you.
Like, comfortable as a producer, not necessarily like a specific genre, and you just know your way around, you know, your software.
Gotcha. No, because I wanna let's bring an extreme example of this, like, and that's in all of our eyes, bro. That started from what our vision was, like from what I just said, to who took it to the extreme. Bro, Kanye West literally took the goal of a producer, the vision of a producer, to whatever the fuck he is now. And I feel like that's the extreme. Like that's what this could probably take you if you don't realize like where's the contentness? Do I stop? How farther do I
knowing
go?
your value?
Exactly.
You know,
type shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, knowing your value. Like that's honestly, I think, his always biggest mindset. He knew his value, not necessarily that he was worth millions already or billions or trillions, but he knew what he was doing. Like I was saying, someone wanted a house track. Kanye West knew like, oh shit, this is not, I can do it because I know my way around the field. I know my way around
a studio.
So I feel like he was very confident with himself as a whole producer, that's why he was, he seemed off of kind of mostly all the time kind of arrogant and,
but that arrogance took him, like, he was no longer content with music. That's the thing. Like, he had to dive into other things to feel.
If anything, he was like, man, I want to make a track that I can drop some shoes with, that I can drop a hat with, that is like worth thousands.
No, but adding to that, because I feel like when you think of like someone's artistic vision, people think like the outlet is just music. But I feel like once like music doesn't really fully express now your artistic vision, and now it starts going into like
other
fashion,
shit.
it starts going into like movies, or starts like the vision. And now, the way to tell your vision through music, the music just doesn't do it no more. Now you gotta like distribute your vision through different creative outlets.
And then what happens?
I agree.
And let's just dive into the people who already have that whole vision of, I know how to produce, and they're not no one, right? But they're like, okay, I already know how to produce. I want to make my own visual nouns for art, and I want to be able to make my own motion graphics. And now they're getting caught in the mindset of, I need to be good at all of this shit at the same time, and then nothing ever happens. You feel me? Like, that's the total opposite side of being, or another aspect of being like, I need more. I need, like, I'm no longer just content with the music.
Yeah.
I need the music, the image, the look, like all of it together type shit.
The merch, all that shit.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it comes down to like, I agree with you with like everything you got to do, the merch and everything, but it comes down to you having to be able to eat, bro. Like, you got to eat. You get me? And like, when you come to a point where you've sold yourself, your music so well as an image that people are now buying it so well that they want to hear your music and are so willing to purchase your merch, that's when you got to eat, bro. Like, take, not necessarily take advantage of the people, but take advantage of the situation that, this could happen. And
like being able to monetize.
Monetize there. There you go.
Yeah.
Monetize yourself, your artwork, your creations.
Because there is opportunity out there.
Yeah.
That, I feel like people are like investing in your art, and there's several ways where there's a system in place where someone who's really invested in your art are willing to give you a certain amount of money or like an exchange of value for you to support the artist.
What is that? What do they have? Those Patreons, right?
Yeah, they got Patreons,
So the Patreons, that's one way you can go, and it's a lot of times, like, even us, we could, you can run a Patreon, as in like, thank you guys, for liking us and supporting us and keeping us going, type of like, idea and situation. And it all goes to just the podcast. So
facts.
Dope shit.
Yeah, bro.
It's just the way that you can sell yourself in so many different ways other than music. After you establish yourself, though, you can't just like
do it all at once.
You can't just like, I'm fucking gonna start selling Gucci and then make music. Like, maybe you can if you have the connections, but the best way would just be kind of.
It's not always the case.
Yeah,
for sure,
it's not always the case. So establish yourself. Make a name for yourself, and then just go from there. And
dude, any upcoming fucking music from you, bro? Besides the recent release you had like a week or two ago, any shows, anything that we can expect from Christian Busto this next upcoming week or so? month? Maybe?
Right now, I am finalizing a Latin house EP.
Oh shit!
So I'm gonna send it to a familiar homie to get it mixed and mastered. So you know from there just work on my artwork, and you guys will definitely hear more about my Latin house EP. I'm not necessarily keeping it low key, but I just kind of like want to see what my idea is or what I'm going more towards, because it is it's a Latin house EP, but it has your English vocals, so it's very Latin influenced, but I don't want people to get thrown off by the fact that it's Latin, called Latin house, and there's no Spanish in it or whatsoever, because there's always backlash with you can't really call it Latin house because
the vocals are not Spanish. The like the rhythm is very Spanish.
I'm like it has very like Latin. It's very Latin rhythm. So
yeah, the rhythm like
so
it always got to be the vocals defining the genre. It can be the rhythm.
Mm-hmm. The vocals the
vocals do play a big part though.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And what language it is being spoken though.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Just because Snoop Dogg is on a track doesn't mean it's a fucking rap track. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, there is a case like that. True.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to this Latin House EP that you're gonna be releasing soon. Dude, I'm gonna leave your link in the description. So everyone can check out all the stuff that you'll be coming out with. Any shout outs? Anything, bro? Before we end this fucking
honestly, shout out to Low End. One of the OGs out here putting down for the IE for 4 to 5 years now, and just respect to the whole team. Honestly, you guys are probably the only ones kind of just putting the EDM scene on the map right now for Riverside. And if you know about your basics, Nocturnal or Beyond Wonderland, and you live around the area, you definitely know about Low End. So shout out to Low End. Shout out to this podcast. Lose the tempo. Guess the tempo.
We're about to do that right now after, bro. This episode. You ready for that shit?
Maybe let's do that.
All right, for sure, man. Well, everyone that's tuning in for this episode, thank you guys so much. YouTube and SoundCloud. Go ahead and check out the description to learn more about Christian Busto and all the upcoming projects he has coming through. Thank you, Christian, for coming through to Luz Tempo Studio.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. It was real great to talk about you as an artist, Moombahton, and all this exciting stuff. Thanks to everyone that tuned in. Subscribe to the channel if you guys dig the episode and all the catalog that we have in our stuff. Like the video if you guys dig it.
Shout out to everyone I mentioned in the video. You already know. I'll tag you. So appreciate y'all. You guys are all contributed to who Christian Busto is. So thank you guys.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. And hit the bell alert button to stay notified when the next episode drops. Thank you guys for coming through. Let's get some tempos, bro.
Let's get stuff.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
We'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.